Good day, everyone. So, our topic for today's video is all about lesson 6. I'm a Filipino, but I don't know Manansala, rediscovering Philippine art. So, Philippine art is uh, a generally na romantic and even nostalgic, okay? Before we were influenced by Westerners, we were already developing our own sets of culture and values. So during the colonial period, gradually, we became infused by foreign influence. Na until now, di ba, na nakikita natin, even our uh, in our everyday lives, ano, na ginagamit natin yung mga salita nila. No? And even yung counting, di ba? Uno, dos, tres. And even sa ating alphabet, okay, may mga hiram tayong mga salita or titik. In a way, it is quite saddening how the good heritage of old Filipino manners, ethics, and even cultural markers like our own baybayin were superimposed by newer trends. Di ba? So, baybayin is our pamamaraan, our way of writing noong unang panahon na sinasabi nga nila na ang pamamaraan daw ng pagsulat ng mga Pilipino ay tinatawag na alibata, na it came from word na sa Arabic or pinaniniwalaan nila na nagmula ito sa salitang Arabiko na nangangahulugang alif at bata. So, alif for A at bata for B. Kasi kaya siya alibata. Pero, hindi naman talaga, baybayin talaga ang tawag sa ating pamamaraan ng pagsulat. So, yung baybayin ay galing sa salitang baybayin or baybayin, yung baybayin sa dagat, sa tabing dagat, ganun, So, ayun ay another form or another example ng art, ng mga Filipino. Kasi 'di ba, on your field discourse, Filipino sa iba't ibang disiplina, your teacher teaches you ano on how to to write letters na converted sa baybayin, yung kanilang mga strokes. So it is a form of art then. So most of us, especially in our generation, cultivated the idea that old-fashioned is old school, di ba? So even the beautiful way of courtship is gone in the midst of the past. No more haranas, and fewer dalagang Filipinas. So when we say harana, yung kanta ng uso pa ba ang harana? Marahil ikaw ay nagtataka. Sino ba tong mukhang gago? Nagkangdara pa sa pagkata at nasisintonado sa kabayan. So, harana ang title nun. Pero hindi naman yun, So, pamamaraan ng kanta ng pag-ibig nung unang panahon ay tinatawag nating K. Kundiman. Okay, very good. So, yung kundiman, ang tawag sa kanta na sa pag-ibig, kundiman. Di ba may kanta din tayong kundiman ngayon? Yung kundiman ng mga sinaunang mga kanta, pero yung kundiman na mismong kanta na, kung di man tayo hanggang dulo, wag mo kalimutan, dito lang ako laging umaalala. Hindi yon. So, kundiman siya, pero hindi siya talaga example ng kundiman nung unang panahon. Okay? Understood? So, ayun. So, yung harana, so si Silay si dalaga sa bintana, and then yung nanliligaw ay may dalang mga bagay na pambigay doon sa nililigawan or sa tatay or magulang ng nililigawan. And at the same time, ay may dalang gitara. Minsan may mga kasamang kaibigan at minsan naman mag-isa lang. Okay, so yun yung nanghaharana. So Philippine art, on the other hand, has been conscious of these changes. Ano? And has become a way to reminisce and remember our old virtues and rich roots. So that is why it is very important to study Philippine art. So it is part of our identity And that's simply because we have a beautiful culture worth celebrating. So in this chapter, we will going to focus on our national identity. Let us try to look it ano, with fresh eyes as if it is the first time we see ourselves in the mirror of our rich and creative culture. Ano, so, how Philippine is Philippine art? So, a survey on the markers of our artistic culture. So, our objective for this topic is to analyze and critique qualities of art, of Philippine art, through some Filipino artists presented. So we will going to recognize notable technical characteristics and innovations of Filipino artists. Lastly, apply the Filipino subject matter or technique through a simple creative output. So, pwede nyo itong i-search, no? Rendition of Amorsolo's Baguio. So, syempre, ang kanyang itsura ay Baguio. May rice terraces, ayan. So, may babae, may mga puno, may bahay kubo. Okay, So, pwede nyo siyang i-search sa internet. So, applying the knowledge of art criticism here, we can see how such painting rendition of Amorsolo's work mirrors the function of art we have studied before. So, the subject matter, the context, the imagery, and even the use of light doon sa painting is obviously signifies something local, hence presenting itself as a reminder of our culture and even a sense of identity. So we do have an identity, di ba? Filipinos are actually art lovers, okay? And even dun sa mga ah, and even dun sa mahal natin na mga colorful things, no? There was one evident there are so evident in our jeepneys, the colorful decorations ng mga Mascara Festival, Pahiyas Festival, and lots of festivals na nisa-celebrate natin here in our country. It is our native pigments and colors and even our clothes, di ba? So sometimes we do not even have a sense of color harmony because of our love for colorful things. Diba? Nothing is wrong with that. Our diversity is indeed reflected in our art forms, and it makes us united and unique. Ano? So, in this chapter, or in this course, we are going to tackle about or we are going to study, ano, about the color harmony, the use, the tinted, the contrast, the tints, the color combination or the correct color combination, especially ng damit natin or our dress codes. Ayan. So, halimbawa, 'di ba, if you're going to wear a stripe on top, so you are not it is not advisable that you're going to wear stripes design also on your bottom on your pants or on your shorts so vice versa. So kung sa bottom part na nag-stripes tayo, so sa upper part or sa top part ay we are not allowed to wear na ng mga stripes designs. And also, syempre, 'di ba, may time din na nag-iiba-iba tayo ng color sa mga damit. So, 'di ba, dapat ay so dito sa topic na sa course na ito sa arts appreciation, yung pagdadamit din natin, it is a another form of art, so we can express ourselves, so we can express our sense of art based sa our outfits. Kasi bino-broadcast natin 'yun sa ibang tao. Yung ating mga damit araw-araw. So, dapat talaga correct ang combination ng mga colors. So, mai-share ko lang So, ito nga ay dahil sa Filipino at sa Philippines. So, nung may nagtatanong kasi na ano daw yung kauna-unahang pangalan ng bansang Pilipinas. So, nung unang panahon, wala pa talagang pangalan ang bansang Pilipinas. So, wala pang exact na pangalan ang bansang Pilipinas kasi bago pa dumating yung mga yung mga Westerners or yung mga Spaniards or yung mga colonizers. So ito ay galing sa The Filipino Story ni Professor Xiao Chua na sinagot niya yung Philippine History Questions na Filipino-Americans na laging tinatanong ano or what the original name of the Philippines before Magellan arrived. And which countries the Philippines traded with the pre-colonial times and many more. So ang nangyari kasi diyan ay nung unang panahon bago pa dumating ang mga Kastila or mga Spaniards ay wala pang name ang Philippines. So ang nangyayari, kingdoms lang. Kunwari, Kingdom of Tondo, Kingdom of ganto. So bawat probinsya or bawat lugar sa Pilipinas, kingdom ang tawag. So ibig sabihin may kanya-kanyang namumuno. And at the same time nang may kanya-kanyang namumuno, may mga ah, may mga kanya-kanyang mga dato, ganon. May mga pinuno. So, ang nangyari doon, syempre may mga alyansa. Kumbaga parang ang nangyari, yung buong Philippines isang mundo. Then sa bawat mundo may kanya-kanyang bansa. So parang gano'n ang nangyari. So Philippines then magkakanya-kanya. So syempre may mga alyansa-alyansa magkakasagpi, ganon. And even yung no, excuse me. And even yung mga kingdom na yon so meron silang kanya-kanyang government. Meron din kanya-kanyang mga towns. So they are all independent. Okay? So independent sila. And then may sinasabi nga na ng iba na ayun daw ang tawag dun sa pamamalakad ay ng mga tao nung unang panahon, 'di ba? Meron tayong iba't ibang pamamaraan ng pamahalaan, 'di ba? Yung democracy, democratic, mga ganon, aristocratic. So may tinatawag sila na thalassocracy. So yung thalassocracy, it is the maritime power. So when communities come together with their powerful armed ships, so because that was our ancestors used to make, so there was no single unifying kingdom during those times. That's why we cannot say that there's a name of the Philippines, before Magellan came, ano. Ayun lang yung sabi ni Professor Chua. Ayan. And Filipino artists are important forces in the formation of our national identity. So images and the culture of making artwork has power in itself. There are some notable artists who have captured our Filipino sensibilities in their own way. So number one natin ay si Fernando Amorsolo, na he interpreted the Philippine light. So we can compare his style with the Impressionist painters who also aimed to express the simple beauties of nature and life. So such artists are Auguste Renoir, Edward Manet or Manet, and 19th century portrait artist Auguste Dominic. So because of Amorsolo's expertise on his medium, which is oil, and his sensitivity to light, Amorsolo was able to paint luminous skin as light strikes it and it creates a certain glow. So others even say that it can almost feel the blood rushing underneath the flesh. Okay. So, quick facts. So analogous is a type of a color harmony, which technically means these colors that are next to each other in the color wheel. Halimbawa, red-violet, red, red-orange, orange, yellow-orange, then violet. So, ayun yung quick facts natin. Next natin, he has coined as the master of Philippine light. This is kind of light that when it strikes tanned flesh or the leaves of trees, for example, one can immediately see a range of analogous or related colors such as yellow, green, yellow, and white that appear at the same time and makes one feel the warmth of the scene created. Because of his excellent style, his paintings never fail to bring back the warmth and idyllic scenes of Philippine provinces and traditions. Okay? So next natin si Vicente Manansala na-develop niya yung rendition of transparent cubism technique. So cubism was pioneered jointly by Pablo Picasso and George Braque na. So and was described to the most radical innovation of art, isms, since it contrasted greatly with the classical perception of beauty. So it issues overlapping and multi-perspective geometric shapes and forms of the chosen subject to produce depth. So the cubist aspect of Manansala has broader facets and planes than original cubism. So they bring out larger rhythms and is closer to synthetic cubism rather than its earlier phase, which is analytic cubism. He further developed it into a transparent cubism, which shows panels of shapes interfacing each other. So unlike Amorsolo, Manansala echoes the proletarian painters of the United States. His works were non-idyllic, so emotions and backgrounds showing evidence of real events happening at his first or at his time, like poverty and economic depression, and skin tones are not luminous but rather kayumanggi. So, ang nangyayari kasi, yung mga paintings, 'di ba? Yung sinabi ko, yung sinend ko ah, sa GC yung sabi nyo kung ano yon. So, ayun yung, this is one of his very early pieces. Ano? So, yun yung sa art critics. Ano? So, it helps us to understand and supplement our knowledge of art forms. With their indispensable role, we can better evaluate our taste and even be wiser in what we consume, not only in art, but life in general. Okay? So, ayun yung sabi ko sa inyo na may dalawang tao na nakatingin dun sa painting, then sabi this is one of his very early pieces. So sometimes din, kapag namatay na yung painter or yung gumawa, mas naaalala or mas nabibigyang halaga yung painting, di ba? Ano? And also, nagugustuhan ng mga mayayaman, mga aristokrato, okay? Yung painting na na nagpapakita ng mga kunwari ng mga social issues. Okay? Nagpapakita ng kung ano yung mga nangyayari talaga sa society. Kunwari, ang Philippines, kunwari, Filipino na, katulad ni Fernando Amorsolo, di ba? Siya ay Filipino na artist, na nakilalang pintor. So, ang halos kanya kasi mga pinapakita ay mga yung poverty, di ba? Meron din yung mga samanggahan, ayan, at iba pa. So, kung ano yung mga nangyayari talaga, especially ng social issues, yun yung mas nagiging click sa mga mayayaman. Okay? So, Hernando R. Ocampo's style was considered by some critics as the most Filipino. Okay? So, most of Hernando R. Ocampo's works are purely abstraction. Therefore, it is hard to pinpoint why he was described as the most Filipino painter ever. However, it is not the content but rather the style of his works. Where can one see his unique painterly approach? Okay. So, nandito din si Napoleon Abuevas, modernist but Filipino-themed sculptures. So, he's still, uh, siya yung si, si Napoleon Abueva, characterized by the planar and geometric look of his sculptures. Abueva veered away from the conservatism of his mentor, si Guillermo Tolentino, nakilala dun sa pag-sculpture dun sa University of the Philippines, yung oblation, yung oblation ng University of the Philippines, yung nakataas ang kamay na nakahubot-hubad. Ayan. So, si Guillermo Tolentino yon. Ano, mentor ni Napoleon Abueva, si Guillermo Tolentino, na kilala doon sa pag-sculpture nga nung nasa University of the Philippines na oblation. Okay? So, he still kept Filipino themes in his sculptures, such as rice planters, mother and child, carabaos, and many more. However, his bold and edgy interpretation of such themes intensified the kind of spirit present in his dynamic and often monumental sculptures. Ayan. So, ayun lang yung ating Ayun lang yung ating I'm a Filipino but I don't know Manansala, rediscovering the Philippine art. So, may tinatawag din tayo na do you remember your elementary days when you were asked to wear costume that represents the Philippines? Ha? Have you worn that camisa de chino or salakot if you are male? Have you paired your malong with pearl jewelry and anklets? Perhaps at some point you have done that or may have encountered some cultural events with these familiar items. Certainly, these are signifiers of our rich historical artistic background. From such examples, we can safely say that function preceded aesthetics during our pre-colonial times. Ano? So, kung nakapunta na kayo sa National Museum, okay? So, nandoon yung mga collections na sa Museum of Anthropology, sa National Museum of the Philippines. So, nandoon, kaya nga, when we say anthropology, ito yung pamamaraan or ito yung buhay or tungkol sa buhay ng mga sinaunang Pilipino, bago pa dumating ang mga Westerners. So, nandoon yung mga uri ng tela na mayroon, uri ng mga ng culture ng mga Filipino. Okay, sa pananamit, sa mga gamit, sa mga gamit sa pangangaso, yung mga banga, and many more. Makikita nyo doon. So when we say pre-colonial indigenous art, so it's characterized by use of materials found in the immediate environment. Combining functionality with aesthetics and art forms are usually connected to traditional belief systems and local values. So, syempre, alam niyo na naman yung clay pottery, di ba? So, meron din dyan yung anting-anting, yung mga palayok. Okay? So, clay pottery is one of the earliest forms of ancient art which is evidence of artistic skill. Naaalala nyo ba yung Manunggul Jar of Palawan? It is a prominent example. Okay? So, other forms are the Kalatagan Jar, which displays inscriptions of its body, and the Maitum Burial Jar. So, the Maitum is anthropomorphic meaning it mimics a human figure with facial expressions of sadness and joy on its face. Yung nakatapat sa tenga. Okay? So, other variations are the palayok, which is used for cooking na, di ba? Ginagamit natin yung itim na palayok and yung brown na palayok. The banga, di ba? The tapayan o yung liquid container na kung saan yung tapayan, pag malamig ang panahon, yung water na nasa loob ay malalamig din. Or kahit mainit ang panahon, malamig pa din. Matagal lumalamig or nawawala yung lamig dun sa tapayan. And the Bornay pottery of Ilocos. So sa wood carving naman, is another prominent art form. So our animistic ancestor, mostly from the Cordillera, carved the bulul and many variations of it. So the bulul is bifunctional, both a granary god and an ancestral spirit. Okay? So the okir, on the other hand, is the curvilinear design and motif on wood used by the Maranao and Tausug peoples. So principal designs are the sarimanok, di ba? Siya yung colorful kingfisher with mythical reference. Para siyang si Ibong Adarna. Pero hindi yun yung Ibong Adarna, ha? Okay. So, nandito din yung naga, the naga. Siya yung ancient serpent. And the pakurabing or stylized fern. So, this is found mostly in the extended floor beams of the Maranao Torogan, which is the Sultan's house. When we say Torogan, so doon at hindi pwede pumasok ang sino man, Ah, yung sultan lamang ang pwede doon. And at the same time ay kaya din siya tinawag na Torogan, nakalaunan ay ginawa na siyang tulugan. So tulugan lang siya ng may mataas na katungkulan during the pre-colonial period. Okay? So a variation of this ornamentation can be found in the malong. So alam niyo naman yung malang, 'di ba? So sa yung cylindrical Maranao skirt and even in stone grave markers. Next natin yung weaving. It is also a predominant as we are very rich in materials like the buri, the rattan, pandan, and bamboo splits. Na niyo-use natin in making hats and basket like the pasiking backpack. So yung mga kalupi, ayan, mga tampepi, okay, na mga lalagyanan ng mga gamit at saka wallet na tawag nung unang panahon na pinagdudugsong, nagawa siya sa ratan. Okay? So, next natin, during the Hispanic influence, so the main force of art in the church, okay? Nandito na yung mga notable artworks, yung Philippine flora and fauna, and the letras E figuras. So Filipinos were trained by friars, but they adhered to a more rich palette like red, blue, and yellow. So nandito din yung American influence nung 90s, 1900s. So closing of the Escuela de Pintura, Grado y Escultura, which paved way of the opening of small workshops led by artists to train pupils. Andito na din yung photo ethnography, was done by American soldiers to prove the uncivilized and primitive people of the Philippines. And during this time then, ng American influence, Filipinos started getting involved in international art expositions like Felix Resurrection Hidalgo. So during the Second Republic, 1942 to 1945, so Japan occupies the country and laid the groundwork for cultural regeneration, ano, dissipating the American influence. Siyempre, diba? So some artists involved in the movement were conservatives Fernando Amorsolo, his brother Pablo, yung kanyang master si Guillermo Tolentino, Dominador and Castañeda, and modernist Victorio Escades, Galo Ocampo, and Hernando Ocampo. So during this time, art became a vehicle of influence for the Japanese to control the Filipino spirit, ano, by restricting their artistic expression. So during the Third Republic, 1946 to 1972, rise of modernism, ano, and also Art Association of the Philippines was formed along with the Philippine Art Gallery or PAG. So nandito na din lumabas yung mga comics and editorial cartoons. So during the Fourth Republic, 1972 to 1986, ito na yung Marcos era. Ano? So nagkaroon na tayo ng Marcos Monument, na ginawa but was later destroyed. Kasi 'di ba ayaw nila ng panunungkulan ni Marcos dahil sa martial law and many more. During the Aquino and Marcos conflicts nila. So First Lady Imelda Marcos efforts, nagkaroon tayo ng Cultural Center of the Philippines, yung CCP. Nagkaroon din tayo ng National Arts Center, yung Philippine High School for Arts among others. So the CCP was envisioned as a shrine for high art at the Advante Guarde or Guard. Ayan. Next natin ay Fifth Republic onwards, 1986 to present. So, syempre, nandito na yung contemporary Philippine art. So, the rise of commercial galleries, improvement of institutions, and information of more art groups and collectives. Okay? So, that's all for today. Yun lang naman. Okay. So, any more question? Okay, so wala naman tayong activity. Yun lang, pakinggan nyo lang itong audio na ito. So, sige nung Carlo Valles na nagsasabing mag-aaral ng mabuti pang buhay ay bumuti. Ingat kayo. Bye!